Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Bad mail.
Now let's start the show.
Thank you.
What's the deal with naming your kids after months of the year? I mean, you got shit like April and May, June, and August. You know, you have names like that, and it's like, well, those sound like names, but you don't. Some of them you just don't really hear as much either. You know, like I don't know, don't you like? I guess July is close to Julie, so it's like maybe it's cutting it a little close there. Fair enough, but I don't know, like aren't too many kids that are like, oh yeah, this is I named my kid December, October. What was the last kid that you met that was named February? Like what kind of a dick names their kid February, right? Like, especially with like the fucking weird like R in there, the weird extra R that we don't say it, but god damn it, is it there? Uh, November. Anybody ever like February? Almost it seems like the worst one, really, right? Like it's one of those things. Is like I could name my kid after a month, and some of those sound fine, and then you're like, well, what if you named them February? It's like, I guess that would be kind of a shitty name. That would be like, why? Because like it makes sense if their birthday is maybe like in that month, but that's almost more confusing. Like if your name is April and you were born in fucking October, it's kind of weird. Like why did you call me that? I don't know. It sounded good. I might as well just do. I look. I was really strapped for names. Okay, I was at the hospital and I hadn't thought of a name, and they're like, "What are you gonna call them?" And I was like, "Well, jeez, you'd be glad you weren't called like fucking Tuesday or President's Day or some shit, right? Like, well, why even stop? I called my kid fucking uh fucking half moon or whatever. I don't know what they call the cycle on it. I called my kid full moon Jones. Why does my kid have a different last name? You don't know what it's like in my life. For all you know, my real last name is Jones, or I married somebody and I took their last name because I don't know why I did it. I was it was a very abusive relationship, and I was just there, and I just got out of it. I can't believe you brought all of it back up again. What the fuck? I mean, like, what's wrong with you? How about consider that? What's wrong with you, man? Maybe your life is turning out perfectly the way you expected it to be, and mine just isn't. But just because my kid is called February, that doesn't mean that you have to be a fuckstick, okay? My abuse baby happens to be called February, and that's the name that they have to live with until they're old enough to change it. Okay, that's their problem. That's out of my hands now. Okay, I don't look. Listen. See. Uh, Taste. That's one of the ones that doesn't really work there, does it? Either you're like, look, I want to tell somebody something. You're like, listen, you want to tell somebody something, okay? But you start getting to those other senses, and it is a little like, like feel. You're already like, okay, feel this. But if you're like, smell, you're gonna be like, what? Like, I could smell victory. And it's really when you get to taste, it's like, I don't know if I follow what you want from me anymore. What's the deal with naming your kids after months on a calendar It's like naming kids after newspaper articles with the ground.